Fox 19 Now has also learned that parole was denied for Melissa Grassa. Grassa was convicted in 1994 of killing her husband Mike. Brittany Harris spoke with the victim's dad, who says he's relieved.
Right now, Melissa Grasha is behind bars convicted of aggravated murder in the death of her husband Mike Grasha Jr. in 1993. The murder was a result of a plot organized by Melissa and her boyfriend and co-conspirator Ronald Branham. As Fox 19 reported a few months ago, Melissa was up for parole. This is the letter the family received then. We've learned that parole was denied.
She earned where she's at, so she needs to stay there.
Mike Grasha says this didn't come easy. Grasha says the family put out a lot of petitions aimed at trying to keep Melissa in custody. Grasha also says they received close to 4,000 signatures overall in support of that. And Grasha says the family also asked people to write letters to the Ohio Parole Board. Basically, he says they did everything they could to try and make sure Melissa Grasha wouldn't be released from prison. Grasha says he traveled to Columbus last week for a full board hearing that lasted about 4.5 hours, where he learned of the board's decision. And for now, he says he feels a sense of relief.
The true life sentence comes to us. We can't ever get him back. We can't ever get a second chance. We don't ever get a parole. We do serve a life sentence. So, yeah, she's where she belongs.
December 2nd, 1993, the Butler County Sheriff's Department responded to a 911 call from Melissa, who reported that something was wrong with her husband. She did not think he was breathing and saw blood on him. Upon arrival at the Graza residence, officers discovered a deceased Michael Graza lying on the bed in a pool of blood. Michael had died from 2 wounds inflicted by arrows fired from a crossbow. Melissa Graza had been having an affair with a man named Ronald Branham for several months prior to Michael's death. Melissa and Ronald went from lovers to the Crossbow killers and shocked the small community of Liberty Township in Butler County. Mike had a business trip he was leaving for the next day. He would be gone for a couple days. So after seeing his children off to bed, kissing his wife goodnight, he went up to sleep about 10 o'clock p.m. Little did Michael know, his wife had her boyfriend in their basement for several hours waiting for him to come home. After Mike went to sleep, Melissa notified Ronald. The plan to kill her husband was then put into action. Not even 10 feet down from where Melissa and Mike's children sleep, Ronald went into the Graza's bedroom and shot Mike in the head with the crossbow. Melissa had given him the money to purchase that weapon. He went back down the hall telling Melissa he didn't think Mike was dead. And according to trial witnesses, Mike was actually trying to pull the arrow and mumbling incoherently. Melissa sent Ronald back down to shoot her husband again. Melissa waited until 6 a.m. to call the police, keeping the kids in the house all night long. She had planned each detail of her husband's killing well in advance. Melissa and Ronald were both arrested and indicted for aggravated murder. They were granted separate trials. A jury found both guilty of aggravated murder, and they were sentenced to life imprisonment without the chance of parole for at least 20 years. It was recorded that Melissa's guilty conviction was the fastest jury determination in Butler County history. Melissa was actually granted parole in 2020. However, the Graza family had gone through great lengths to keep her behind bars. They collected over 4,000 signatures and many letters to send to the parole board. They were successful. The parole denied the release of Melissa, and she remains serving out her time at the Dayton Correctional Institution in Dayton, Ohio. Records show she and both Ronald have a parole eligibility scheduled for October 1st, 2025. Their hearings both will be held sometime in the month of August that year. Now, you can go online and read the many petitions against their release. There's many. And that family has definitely worked to keep these killers behind bars, the Crossbow killers. I'm going to share just a few of the notations or notes, letters that I've seen posted on some of those petitions. Again, you can go online if you're interested in looking at more, but these are a couple that struck out to me. I send condolences to Mike's family, especially his children. Within those petitions of keeping the killers behind bars, there was nothing but good things spoken, mostly good things spoken about Mr. Mike. Of course, if there wasn't good things, it was coming from the side of Melissa. People said that Mike, he was a very warm person. He loved people and had a smile that could light up any room. He was an avid fisherman and golfer, and he loved to go on camping trips and vacations. He also was a big football fan and liked to play in all sports, which he did when he was in school. He worked for several years to open his own business, which he did in 1989. He spent many days working 10, 12, 14 hours to build it into a successful, profitable business. He wanted something really nice to be able to leave for the kids when he retired. He couldn't wait for his 3 older children to get older so they can do things together, especially his son Nathan, who was the oldest. When Mike died, the children, Nathan was 8, Amanda was 6, and Ashley was 4. I send condolences to the 3 children that lost their family, to Mike's father, who has worked very hard to keep his killers behind bars. And this was put on the monument at Mike's gravesite. Just think of his as living in the hearts of those he touched, for nothing loved is ever lost, and he was loved so much. I give a moment of silence to Mr. Michael Graza. May you rest in peace.